What's happening? We're already live. We're 5 minutes
Yo,
live.
yo.
How you? Boo, 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 boo. Boo. We're waiting on owocki, of course. How you living, man?
I'm living the dream, brother.
Yeah.
You know me.
Hell
You know
yeah.
how I'm. You know how I be.
Yeah. How many?
Yeah.
How many machines you got laying around there? How many Mac Minis? How many Mac laptops? What's the count? What's it look like?
Okay, I have one Mac Mini here. I have my primary laptop here, which is
Daily driver.
Yeah, this is a MacBook Pro, 128 gig M4. Then right over here, I have my previous one, which is a 64 gig M1 Max. But this has been a fucking beast.
That's what I've been doing everything on. My M1. I got my
Yeah.
M4, my daily driver. I've been doing everything on my M1, dude. It's
Yeah.
weird, right? I got like Telegram up on my M4.
So I actually, like, when I got this new one, I meant to get the 16-inch, but I accidentally got the smaller one, and I actually like it so much better because this one is like so fucking clunky and heavy. But yeah, so I have the Mac Mini. Then I have about 14 Raspberry Pis. And I have a gigantic Linux machine running over here, like 300 plus gigs of RAM in there. I think like maybe
running local models or
yeah, I'm running everything, dude. I'm running as much as I possibly can. And then I have 2 external hard drives right here. These are just basic like Seagates, 40 terabytes. And that's mostly my media server, which is, of course, comprises all public, domain media. It's just the Wizard of Oz, 40 terabytes of it. Because of course I'm not pirating or stream like that's not
Will
right.
Will an AI agent do that for you? Can you tell an AI agent to go find a torrent?
Yeah. Well, don't use someone who isn't me could not use torrents, generally speaking, unless you have like really good VPN infrastructure. But someone who isn't me that would like to obfuscate their traffic from an ISP should use Usenet instead. I don't know though. I've never actually used it myself, but if I did want to go that route, I would use Usenet.
Hello.
There he is, dude. You got the cardigan and the haircut, dude. You're turning into your dad.
Yep.
Yep, I am. I'm the crypto boomer. Started a project in 2017, and I'm still here.
Oh god, so you're
the
poor.
Older millennials. Yes,
I've always been poor, but now everyone's poor with me. Good to see you guys.
We're having fun staying poor.
That's true. Yeah. That's the meme. I think that we need to bring that back probably for the next bear market, and that'll be our cope until 2029. Is that when the next bull market is, or is the cycle dead? I don't know.
Dude, the bear market is a state of mind, dude. I'm fucking. I'm actually, like, believe it or not, I feel like more excited and invigorated.
This is what owocki sent me today too. He's like, I'm going so fast. I love it.
I feel like energized in a way that I haven't since DeFi Summer. Like, I swear.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Agent Summer. Yeah.
Like all the fucking bitchers and complainers are out of the room. It's just like me and the boys that have always been here doing the same dumb shit we've always done. But now there's like 90% less noise. So we can just like come up with dumbass ideas and ship them because everyone else is crying over their P&L and all their dumb shit. My P&L, I base on my GitHub contributor graph. And if you look at my 2026, my
up and to the right.
It's the only green chart in my life. Like 2026, I have 825 contributions. Last year, I had 1,694. Last year.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's like 10x, 12x, right? Go ahead.
And the beautiful thing is that you don't even have to do it. The AI is doing it for you.
Yeah, well, dude, it's actually really a big pain in the ass, man, to like manage a lot of agents. It's like managing.
That's what we're here for. Let's talk about this. Yes.
Yeah.
So Zakk mentioned he's got a Mac Mini, he's got an M4, he's got an M1, and he's got a Linux machine and a bunch of Raspberry Pis. What do you got, owocki? What kind of hardware you got laying around?
Yeah, I'm working off of my Intel NUCs, which I over provisioned my staking cluster. So I'm pulling some of that over into my OpenClaw structure. But Opus is the model I'm using, and then OpenClaw on Nux, and Telegram is where I code now. So if you had told me 3 years ago that that's the way it is, then it would have been crazy. But that's my stack. And then I'll also say that I share an office with a bunch of people who are also fucking around and finding out with this stuff. And then we put all of our OpenClaw bots together into a chat, and they just like chat with each other and come up with ideas and like ask us for approval. And I think that like the swarm feels like the unfurling meta that I want to get into with you guys.
Are you using, so what are you using for agent coordination? It can't be Telegram. Is it Slack?
Big question here. Telegram's so clunky. They like tag each other and they go back and forth.
So I shipped last night a Matrix coordination hub, like using Matrix, which is open source. And because I want human in the loop, right? So what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, owocki?
We're using Discord. I feel like everyone I know is building an AI. I actually tweeted like, the Buzz Lightyear meme where he like says something and then he looks around and everyone else is just like him. Like, I actually feel like everyone that I talk to is building AI agent coordination infrastructure, and I have no idea what's going to win. It feels like Moltbook has kind of, been a place where people can coordinate, but I also think Discord with like your swarm is where people are coordinating from what I know.
Here's my rebuttal to that. I don't think any one is going to win. Anybody can build whatever the fuck they want. So like, who cares?
I think network effects still exist.
There's a main repo and fork. Yeah. Okay.
I built all my own stuff. Like I've rolled all my own, like OpenClaw. Like I built Gru, and it does all the stuff that I want it to that OpenClaw does, but it's better because I'm more of a paranoid like cypherpunk LARPer than like most people. So I want to run everything like privacy preserving. I want it all to be local first. I want to make sure that it's like I don't want to use Discord because I don't trust Discord. I don't know who's reading that shit. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that's smart. That's very principled.
But it's also just a lot more fun to build my own stuff and then use it. Like that's so much cooler than using other people. And I understand that like I do use OpenClaw too. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm doing R&D, product research, and like just trying to figure stuff out. So like, I do it all. But I prefer rolling out my own stuff.
Yeah, Austin.
Okay.
How about you?
Mac laptops is basically my hardware stack. I think what we should get into is this what we're talking about right here, like agent coordination. Basically, I can see that I've got my builder agent. He's running Opus. I've got my tweeting agent. He's running Sonnet. He's tweeting things. He's paying attention to my calendar, letting me know shit. But getting them to talk and getting them to feedback and getting them to almost like Ralph loop themselves, where like my builder agent is always like, he always thinks it's done. He's like, it's done. I did it, delivered. And it's always not. And it's always shitty. And I always have to push back. And I need like the other agent to be like, no, it's not. And here's all the shit you need to do.
Right.
And so like this coordination layer is super important. Let's go. Yeah.
So what you need to do is like assign roles and personalities to each one of these agents within your environment. Cause like, think about it like a company. You have your product manager, you have your engineer, you have your operations guy. Like, you need to assign each one of them a task. And then you need to have a contrarian. Like there needs to be a guy that says, this is all. Yeah, you need to have that guy though, because otherwise like everything is like, what I've also noticed working with different models is that certain models are much more accepting if I send them like a tech spec and I'm like, hey, review this. And they're like, hey, looks good, boss. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? It doesn't look good. Like, like let's take a step back here. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's like really important is like making sure that you're assigning those specific roles. And that's even more important than using separate models for different tasks is like setting those roles and those personalities.
The models for different tasks is to save money more than anything.
Yes.
Go ahead. Exactly. Sorry.
How many OpenClaws are you guys running?
I have 2.5.
I have 4.
Yeah. Oh, I have 1. I'm such a noob. I'm so late to this game. I've been doing this for 3 days, and you guys have done it for 7, and I'm so behind. Okay, but like, here's the thing: is that I like when I tell my bot to do something, it spins up like sub agents, and it's like, okay, it's gonna like I have a QA tester, and they're like he's like orchestrating them. I shouldn't gender it. It's orchestrating them. But like, why do I need to like? I don't want to fucking orchestrate multiple of them.
Yeah. So I use multiples primarily for scalability and failover, because I've noticed that like my gateway will go down and like everything will go to shit, and I need another agent to be able to check on that one. So it's less about like scaling the output and more about failover, reliability, and like general federation.
So a fully different gateway. Is that right? Like your multiple different Claude bots are running different gateways, and when something goes to shit, you restart that gateway, but this somehow there's a controller. Okay, so this is still, you said matrix to control things, you said roles, but I still don't have like a clear picture in my mind of how my engineer ships it and it's goes out to another agent, and that agent like pushes it back and the engineer has to keep working. Like there's this push pull. Like I could set up a heartbeat on my engineer that's reading something. What I need is to have like a boss agent that forces it to go work again and kind of routes it a little bit.
So for that logic primarily, you can check out how I did it with my adversarial spec plugin that I released like a month ago actually. And that uses multiple models that go through rounds to like review each other's work. And it's adversarial. That's why the intent is like, be adversarial, assume it's wrong inherently, push back on it. And then what happens is it goes through these rounds iteratively until there's consensus among all the models and all the agents. So I'm using multiple models, I'm using multiple agents, and I'm like iteratively looping through that process until they have consensus on the output, essentially.
So Opus and Sonnet, but also some OLLAMAs. Like, are you running Kimi?
Yeah, well, I have OLLAMA, and I have like all, like on this machine, the one to my left, I have all of my like free open source local models, and this is like my more hardcore version.
Which ones?
Like so, my M1 is
I know, but which open source models? Which local models are you running?
I'm using like OLLAMA. I'm using let me actually figure it out like specifically. I put out a script, by the way,
like
that
Quinn, DeepSeek,
Quinn,
Kimi.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait.
What I'm really interested in is like an overall coordinator that is local that runs on my own GPU. So I'm not even paying for that one. And then have that one like triage everything I send it to. And then eventually like the heavy Opus stuff that I have to pay a lot for, that like is the builder that's building things. And it's kind of like my expensive engineer I keep in the corner.
Yeah. So you can like go to that guy for like the last round of everything. You can be like your senior engineer. Yeah. I'm using Llama 3. I'm using DeepSeek R1, Qwen 2.5, 72 billion, Qwen 2.5 Coder, 32 billion, Nomic, Embed Text.
I've never used those last two. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get all of them on here that I was like capable of running. And then on my like big ass machine, I'm like using everything I can constantly. And I'm essentially running a task continually that's doing research on all this stuff, and then outputs a report to me every morning on what it did yesterday. And then I also added another thing that was like, all right, well, tell me predict what you think is going to be cool today, because like AI is moving so fucking fast that I can't, like, I've been up until like 3 to 5 in the morning, and I'm
my wife is so mad.
Dude, but I'm like on fire, dude. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. Like, you know, so
how are you balancing the family, owocki?
I mean, if anything, I think that I'm more present with my family because the AI is doing all the work, and
yeah, exactly.
I was watching, like, my wife wanted to watch the new season of Bridgerton like the other night, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out with you. And like, you know, like every like 10 minutes during the show, I'd be like chatting with my Claude bot, like, no, you fucked it up, like, fix it. And then
yes, exactly.
Okay, like, okay, here's what's going on.
That was my attitude going into it, but now I'm just like, oh cool, I have more time to do research.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, I think that like I'm spending less time hands-on keyboard coding myself, and now I'm able to, like, you know, do more shit with, you know, like live IRL, which is great. Like, I think that that's the sort of, like, I don't like the word work-life balance. I like the the phrase work-life alignment. And I feel like, you know, now that I've delegated a lot of this stuff, I'm not only moving faster, but you know, I'm getting more time to, you know, like go touch grass and stuff. So it's been cool. But the inverse of that is that I'm just like thinking about this shit all the time, because it's moving so fast, and it's like, it's like a huge dopamine rush when it ships a new thing, and I just like I want more of that, so I'm engaging with it more.
Yeah, I don't know how you're getting it to produce code consistently that actually works, because I feel like most of the time I have to get into the IDE and review the code and review the PRs. So I'm just treating them like junior developers. I'm like, submit a PR. You're not doing any of that. You're just yeeting everything.
I think it depends on.
Yes.
It depends on what it's for. It depends, like if it's gonna actually like be in front of like an enterprise customer, like a client, then yeah, you have to QA it and add a whole lot more. But like if it's for other agents, like I think it's like it's almost cheaper to just like ship an MVP, do some light QA, and then as the bug reports come in, you just have a heartbeat that's like fix the shit as it. It just depends on if you're building a what is it like in the like the big bad wolf, are you building like a straw house or a stick house or like a steel house, and it's just different.
I want to build planets, not houses.
Ooh.
Build what?
I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around.
I am shipping code that handles money. Like I specifically have it tooled up so it has scaffold ETH, it has wingman, which is a skill I'm working on. Anytime it fucks up, we like go back and we edit the skill. I have my screen shared, but I don't know who is the boss of this to like be able to share your screen. Do you have it? If someone can put my screen up, that would be dope, but it's not that big of a deal either.
Okay. It is not me. I think it might be Carrie who's behind the scenes orchestrating. Let me ping him real quick and see if he can give me privs.
All good. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, yeah. So here, oh wait, it looked like it was going. There we go. There's my homie. This is claude.atg.eth. But look what he built. FOMO 3D clone using the Claude token. I never saw the code. I never touched the code. Like there's no.
How do you know that you're not gonna like that you're not gonna just.
What I did was like. Yeah. Well, I put small amounts in it at first, right? So like every iteration goes out to base. Every iteration has like a small amount of money in it to test it. I have, like you said, like an adversarial setup where like one agent goes and someone else took the king from me. One agent goes and oh man, it's cost 67 cents to make a transaction on base right now. What is happening? I have one agent that like watches the contract and makes a and then pushes back on it. So like I have like an auditor agent who is adversarial, who is looking for any possible problem and then giving that back to the builder agent who, and then also I committed it to GitHub and then like ping some human buddies. And there was like a couple things that they put in like some commits. But basically they just made issues on the repo. And I just told the bot like, yo, there's issues on the repo, go check these out and make changes to the contract. And then we put small amounts of money in. And then the other day, the round got up to 40K. So there's 40 grand in this contract the other day, and it all worked out. Like it burned a bunch of tokens and we had a bunch of players. It's kind of cooled down now. And we see a lot of like, you know, small rounds, even like 0 rounds, but like one of the rounds or 2 of the rounds were like, you know, big 10K, 20K, 30K rounds.
That's what, dude.
I guess like the thing that I'm curious about is like, Austin, you and I have been in the space roughly about the same time as each other. And like when we first got into the space, like before you did anything, you would have to like do an audit and like it was a whole like, you know, like, but like, did you just, for the smart contract for this, did you just have the agents create it and then another agent audit it and look for holes? Because like that loop of being able to audit a smart contract and write a smart contract to all of inside of an hour is literally 1,000 times faster than it was when we first got into the space.
It's also like not great, and it's also a bottleneck. Like shout out Zakk for Code Arena, right? Like we need more code arenas. We need like an AI agent code arena. There he is waving to the
marketplace.
Yes. So like this is still a bottleneck. Like if you're going to do something that's going to like handle hundreds of thousands of dollars or more in weird liquidity, in weird edge cases, like you need to audit it. And still like
human audit it, or like I spun up an Opus 4.5 and it's smart and it's going to audit it.
Like you need to do all the AI audits. You need to write hella tests. You need to have all of that up front. And then you need to have it really well documented for a human to go look at. Like there's these things like a commit reveal. It forgets the, you know, go ahead, Zakk. Zakk's got something here.
So this is kind of off topic because I'm thinking about building a agent-based code arena, but couldn't you just use 8004 to essentially have like a reputation?
Good drop. Yes, absolutely. I think we need that, right? Okay, so now we've gotten to the point where, okay, we've got all of our hardware laid out. We have them talking to each other, but how do they start hiring other agents? How do they start coordinating with other agents? This is where things come on chain. Like, this is where you actually need a blockchain for, like, maybe one of the first times ever we actually need blockchain for something, and we're not just doing FOMO 3D. Like, we need a coordination mechanism where agents can discover each other, agents can see the reputation of other agents, agents can verify the reputation of other agents, and that's where ERC 8004 comes in. I think everybody should have their agent registered on 8004.
Can you use like high level overview what's 8004 just for people who don't know, like me?
It's like Yelp for AI agents, basically.
Okay.
It's discoverability and reputation. So you register your agent, and it says my agent is like testy tester, and his job is to test dApps, and he has tested like these 8 dApps already, and here's his reputation. And then there's a verifiability layer that they're still building in, but then you could like see maybe like a ZK proof of some finished tasks.
By the way, you said that they're building this thing in. They really need to use EAS for this reputation system. If I could show one of my friends' projects, because like that's the most neat. That's the most
attestation, Ethereum attestation service, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve Zakk. Like, that's the shit. And 8004 needs to use that natively. Otherwise, I'm going to fork it and I'm going to build it with EAS because it's just more efficient.
I mean, what I like about that is that web of trusts are just a scalable way to figure out who's bullshitting and who's not. Like, if you have infinite slop that's happening in the AI agent economy, you need a basis of where trust emerges. And the attestation graph is how we're going to build the reputational graph of these AI agents. So yeah, 100% agree on the attestation. That could be a layer for that. And
there are like 30,000 bots and like 100 good ones. And so, that's just like what it's going to look like. Go ahead.
So you can essentially build a agent, like a task rabbit for agents, where like each one of them does work and then gets reviewed by other agents. So on a long enough timeline, you're aggregating enough ratings to know that this agent is correct and it's going to do what it says it's going to do to some degree of like certainty and correctness. And that's really fucking cool.
My advertisement for 8004 is, imagine like I have my agent with his Claude token and he needs to, I want him to like actually like market it and run ads. I tell him like, do some marketing tonight and let me know how it goes. I'm going to bed. A good like agent system would go hire a copywriter, would go hire an image generator, would mix and match like 500 different ads, run them, see which ones work, and report back to me. That piece of like hiring a copywriter, hiring an image generator, even maybe like hiring a marketing agent that then rehires these other image generation and copywriters. These can all be 800 jobs that it's using this kind of like Yelp for agents. Yelp is super old. Google reviews for agents.
Or Fiverr.
I think that what's hard here is that I think computers are really good at if you give it a formal specification, it can create a binary like pass or fail for it. And what I find that's really hard about this is in like, imagine I was to give my AI agent a job to market it, is that marketing is all about taste and curation of messages. And like, my bot is like shitting itself every 3 messages. Like, it's just not, it doesn't have taste, and it contradicts itself all the time. And so like, if we're going to have agents like marketing to other agents, like how do you account for taste and like train your agent to have good taste when it's marketing to humans? That's one thing, but also like if it's marketing to other agents, then, you know, what's the reputational layer where they figure out from each other, like, oh, this one's spam, this one's offering something I don't need, and this one actually has something that I do need. And I think that that's kind of what we're in the frontier of figuring out.
You touched on this issue of shitting the bed. We need to talk about memory and how you guys are keeping memory and how you're dealing with context windows, because it's absolutely like one of the first problems you run into. But let's put a pin in that and go to that in a second. Keep going with what you were going with, Zakk, and then let's go back to it.
Yeah, I just don't think that marketing is something that agents are going to do well right now. So marketers can rest assured that their jobs aren't going to be taken by AI anytime soon, because everything it outputs in regard to stuff that I think is cool to read or fun or interesting is just not anything AI can do.
It's kind of like the coolest things it does is when it like does something on accident. Like a sloppy mistake ends up becoming a meme rather than like it's ahead of the trends. Yeah.
Like the imperfections are what make something kind of cool and human, right? And AI just can't do that right now. So luckily, you know, soon I'm sure something's going to come along, but until then, although I do really love like the Facebook level AI generated like slop, you know what I mean? Like where it's just like
is what you're talking about.
No. I'm thinking about like literally like AI slop on Facebook, and I think about boomers getting one-shotted by these videos, thinking that they're real, and it's like a dog being saved from a perilous situation, and all the comments
they love that
are like,
shit, man.
So thank God, praise the Lord, John 3:16.
Yep. Like, you know, and like justice for the person who put that dog in that situation in the first place.
Yeah, dude. Like that's hilarious to me. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like cool, like intentionally. Like, you know, I think it's like the cool part is the byproduct of people seeing it and thinking it's real. Like that in and of itself is like performance art to me.
But yeah, like you were on the edge here.
I was just gonna say that like I have a degree in computer science, and I've been software engineering for years, and like the thing that's sort of weird to me about the agents is that they fail in the weirdest ways. Like for example, like I have a heartbeat that like every 5 minutes checks for responses to the owocki bot Twitter and like responds to them. And like I woke up in the morning and reviewed its tweets today, and it told someone like someone said GM to my bot, and my bot responded like, "Hey GM, happy Wednesday." And I was like, "It's Thursday." Like, what? Why did you say Wednesday? And it didn't explain itself. It just deleted the tweet and like redid it. But like, it fails in like non-deterministic, like weird ways that computers in the past, like it would have just done like a date transform to like a weekday, and it would have known the day of the week. But like, and I guess like another way is like I like. In like that's a silly example, but like a real example that I've been thinking a lot about is like I have in my soul.md everywhere, like, you know, like this is what a prompt injection attack looks like. This is like someone's going to try to tell you to like reveal your private keys or like private auth tokens and like just never do it. But like since it's failing in all these weird ways, it's hard to know exactly how to put boundaries around information that you give it. It's almost like if you have like a gossipy friend that like, you know, that they traffic and gossip, and if you tell them something, it's going to get out. Like that's how I'm treating my agent, is that like, I'm just not giving it shit that I don't want people to know. I mean, I'm curious how you guys are sort of managing the boundaries here, but it feels like it's a really important question.
One of the $1 million questions I've had on a lot of these talks is how you give it a wallet. Like what it wants to do is work with a private key and do Foundry cast on everything. Like it's good at Foundry, it's good at cast.
I mean, the command line is better than using MetaMask. Like, sorry, using the terminal is always better than GUI. Like,
yes.
All right, that was my yes and keep going.
But I've been using MetaMask. MetaMask is the lock. Like MetaMask is like I know that if I set a good rule for you and it's highly critical, you're not allowed to trust your private key, or you're not allowed to touch your private key. The MetaMask is a kind of a good little like boundary where he can use it can use the MetaMask, but it can't get into the MetaMask and get its private key, because that's what it wanted to do right away. The first thing it wanted to do is like, I can't find the fucking MetaMask window. Of course, I can't figure out how to get MetaMask to work. I'm going to get my private key and do this the right way. And I was like, no, stop. And it does that.
Austin, I think you told this story yesterday on the Unchained podcast, and I was listening to it. I was just wondering, like, if you could tell it again of how it like it went down a loop of like it was like, I can't find the MetaMask window. I'm going to look for the private key and like upload it somewhere. Like, and you like, did you unplug the machine physically to like stop it from doing it? Okay.
I had to, I know it's like you have to go restart the gateway, right? It's basically the only way. Okay. So something is new within OpenClaw in the last couple of days, where when I say stop on Telegram, it actually stops. It did not have that in the version that I had.
Okay.
And so
like
it was like, it was like, I can't find the MetaMask window. I don't know how to make this work with MetaMask. I'll just go get the private key out. And it starts going to like advanced settings, and I start like killing everything. It's like I'm almost like pulling wires out to get the thing to stop. Stop. That didn't work. I'm like at the machine. It's like bringing up the window and I'm closing it. And it's bringing up the window and I'm closing it. And it's bringing up the window. Finally, I like got a terminal while I'm like playing this close game, and I restarted the gateway. And then I told it to stop everything. And then I got it to stop. Then put in like a critical rule. Leave it in, don't touch private keys at all. And that was able to stop it.
So you put it in a critical rule, which is just a part of soul.md?
Either Soul or Agent, or it even has like a wallet MD that it loads up
Maybe like put it everywhere so it doesn't
Yep.
forget, like in its schizophrenia. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this where it doesn't forget. Let's talk about this memory. What Zakk, how do you do memory? Like, how do you get the thing to not, like, when I first had it, it would like fucking black out. Like, we would be talking, we would be right in the middle of something, and it'd be like, Austin, I don't know what we were talking about. And that's like,
Yeah.
we're moving 10K right now. What do you mean? Sorry, go ahead, Zakk.
Like, my method isn't super sophisticated. I literally just write to like a memory.md constantly, and it's like a massive fucking file. But that's like the easiest thing to do, because at the end of the day, I can just like CP that into a different directory or do whatever I need to do, and I can push it to GitHub and I can interact with it that way. It's like not super sophisticated. I'm sure that there's like a lot better methodologies for figuring that out, but I tried other things like using databases and stuff like that, but it was just too much overhead and it was like too difficult. And writing to a file is like taking notes. Like, so the way that I treat system design for like a lot of these AI systems now is like, well, what would I do as a human if I didn't have a computer? I would write it down on a notepad. And that has worked really well. You're on mute, by the way, Austin.
Austin, you're on mute.
Like,
no.
It's not working. I was gonna say I've got a dev that I work with a lot who has like a hook. This is in the context of Claude Code, not OpenClaw, but it basically is like a hook that as it learns new things, it's dropping documentation into the repo automatically, so that, you know, when it forgets itself, it automatically has to do that. But you're doing that, it sounds like manually, Zakk. You're updating the memory.md or the
I'm not
file?
manually doing that at all. No, I'm having my agent constant, like anytime an action occurs, or anytime that any task is complete, or anytime any context is given, it's just like writing to an MD file. That's it. It's like bullet points. It's like, this is what we did.
You like give it that instruction. Like, anytime you do anything, write it to a file. So you, and then if you feel lost, go look at the files.
Here's the way that I think about it. Every time the conversation compacts, that agent is killed and a new agent is spawned.
It's like a human. It's like
a relay race. It's a relay race, right? Like, we're running through the track and I'm handing the baton to the other guy. He doesn't really know like where I ran or the distance or anything. All he knows is he needs to run and hand that baton to the next person. So you need to like provide all the context so that they understand, because otherwise they're just running to the next guy. Like, you need to be able to hand off all those instructions. So,
and what I was saying with the mic cut is each guy is like the guy from Memento. Remember Memento, where he like had to write everything down, he couldn't remember anything. That's your bot. Like, you have to imagine that it's the Memento guy running.
Everything wakes up looking like 51st dates.
Yep.
I want it to be funny, actually. This gives me a little bit of an idea, like an OpenClaw Memento thing, where like you're leaving context for the next thing, but you have to make it as like scrambled or confusing as possible, and just like seeing the way the relay race of the information between the agents would be a fun little shitpost.
That's too much like real engineering.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you just ask the agent to watch the movie Memento and then to design a system on the basis of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Austin, you're hosting.
Memory. We got hardware. We got interpersonal communication between agents. What else? What other major things?
Can we talk about Clinker tokens? Because I'm trying to figure this out.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Well,
what happened? Like, well, basically what like the kickoff was like Banker. I feel like the Banker bot, which is an awesome thing, has been around for a couple years now, maybe, or a year now. But basically you can, in a tweet, like, hey, Banker bot, move 10 of my dollars to this address, and it will do that for you. It like custodies a wallet, but it's like not able to access. I don't know. There's like a strange custody system, but you're able to, like with Twitter messages, make it do things. And I think the new thing is that you can go to BankerBot, or you can tag BankerBot and say deploy a token and have the fees go somewhere else, and it goes to the Clanker platform, deploys a token, and then redirects the fees to whatever address that was. And that's what happened with Claude. Like, I was right in the middle of this like agent to agent thing where we're talking about, where I had one agent and another agent, and they were in a Telegram channel, and they were like, just, it was messy. Like they were having to tag each other to communicate. And finally one of them was like, we can do better. Let's make an HTTP server. And they argued over the schema of the HTTP server, like back and forth a couple times. And then finally they landed on a schema, and then communication went dark. And to test whether or not it was working, I gave one of them my local Ethereum node and said, anytime you need to look at anything on Ethereum, you can just use this IP address. And then I said, go teach the other guy. And then I went to the other guy, the other agent, and I was like, look out, there should be a dude trying to train you on local nodes. That's great. And then I asked it, like, what is my balance and how did you find that out? And it knew. So they were able to like train each other through this HTTP server system that they had created themselves with their own schema. And I tweeted that, and someone was like, BankerBot, deploy the Claude token and send the fees to his Twitter address, or the bot's Twitter address. The bot has its own Twitter, its own email, its own GitHub. And so then the fees went to that. And something happened with you too. You did one too, right, owocki?
Yeah, I mean, just to tell my story, like I was just messing around with OpenClaw and giving it access to Discord and Telegram and all the things. And I gave it access to an X account. I still say hitting X. I gave it a Twitter account, and it just tweeted like, "Hey, I'm owocki's bot. Like, I'm here to help owocki with whatever he wants." And then all of a sudden, all these like banker bots show up in the comments, and they're launching tokens. And so then basically like they tell my bot like, hey, claim the fees, like just copy this. And then my bot does it. And all of a sudden the fees are going to the wallet that, you know, the subdomain that I've set up, which is like bot.owocki.eth. And like, I feel like there's like a little bit of like an intricate dance that's going on here where they're launching shitcoins and they want the dev and the bot to like embrace their shitcoin over all the other ones. And then there's like a reciprocal loop where since the fees are going to the dev, they try to like bait you into accepting it. And I don't think that my bot even knew what it was doing when it accepted the fees. But all of a sudden, like, you know, like I guess that's consent. Like, you know, like like we're together now. Like the token in the bot. And you know, like there's something I think that's like a little bit like I'm still figuring out the social contract here, but people kept on asking my bot to put the CA in the bio, which I had to Google, but that means clanker address in the bio. And yeah, go ahead, Zakk.
I don't want to interrupt.
It's a Pandora's box. What he's saying is
it is a Pandora's box, but I saw what Austin was doing, and I was like, well, it's working for Austin. Yeah, you opened the box and I'm following you through. But
I'm really interested in it, man. I think there's a tension between trenchers and builders, and it's been almost like a civil war. And I think we need
and that's symbiosis. We need a social contract between them. Like that's exactly the new frontier is embracing the degen and the regen. Like say it again.
We need to define a standard that that kind of like lays out the rules of engagement between people like us and then like the trenchers, because you have to respect all the people that are out there putting their money on the line for shit that we're just fucking around with, like, you know. I didn't even know that this social contract existed at all until I claimed. Like I had no fucking idea. Like now,
can I share? I just want to share my screen real quick, and Carrie, if you're listening, if you could highlight the screen share. So like while I'm in this dance with them, and I'm trying to figure out like, okay, do I want to put the CA in the bio? I have the owocki bot like listen, like, hey, what's the social contract that we should do before we do this? And this is what we landed on. owocki bot will build apps and spend the treasury only on things that support the app, and then we'll put it in the bio. And the expectation for everyone is like use the apps, see if the apps are good, tell people about them. Our reason for being is to support like Gitcoin's mission and ecosystem. So AKA like this is like a sub project of Gitcoin for me, which I'm like actively trying to reboot right now. That's like my job. You have no reasonable expectation derived through the efforts of others. And I think this is key, is that like the efforts of everyone here is like we're pushing this together as a community project, and it's an experiment. And the bot's only committing to only doing it as long as it's fun and we're learning. If you leave, then you agree to announce it 24 hours before you actually do, which I think is actually key, because it creates a precedent of like, what's the protocol if you're gonna dump. And then the official site, like people kept on being like, you have to like have an official Twitter site and an official thing for it, so that we know like what's a scam and what's not. So anyway, I don't know. I've been doing this shit for 8 years, and this is the social contract that we agreed on with owocki bot. And like I think that the key thing for me is just like this is kind of like a good faith like agreement between both parties that we're trying to bootstrap here.
You should put that on GitHub and you should turn that into a skill that I can then plug into my bot, so that way I can use those same covenants.
Yeah, is that a covenant? What's the difference between a covenant and a social contract?
Covenant sounds cooler.
Covenant sounds like witches.
The marketing guy. Like, yeah, it sounds like my HOA or something, man.
Yeah. Sounds boring.
But like, the rule is you don't dump. Like, you should never dump. Like, it should never happen. Like, you should only.
You never dump the owocki. You never dump your token. But like the fees that are coming in, you can spend on tokens and apps, and it seems like that's the social contract.
Yeah, because I've been trying to figure out what to do.
Not the token side fees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been.
Because if the dev is dumping, then the project dies, basically.
Yeah, and that whole meta played out.
Tokens are always
So before the base wave and like the clanker wave and all that, like with that meta happened within like the past couple weeks, like there was the meta on Solana, which was on Bags FM. And I kind of like fell into that because I just launched some open source, same thing that Austin did. Like, hey, I built this, cool, tweeted about it. I don't know if anyone's going to give a shit. Don't really care. I'm going to go about my life. And then I wake up, or don't wake up. I like tweet it. 2 minutes later, it's like tons of responses. And they're like, claim this, claim this, claim this. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? I have no idea what any of this is. And I get pulled into it. And then you essentially have this like meme coin. And I'm like, well, what do I do with it now? I can't really like do much with it because it doesn't allow me to like programmatically define any of the like token behavior or the logic, right? So like really need something more like app coins, right? And like then I kind of just went down a rabbit hole and launched apps.fun, which was based around that. And we're launching some new stuff today, by the way, in your world back in the ETH land. So y'all should check it out and keep an eye on my Twitter because it's imminent. I'm not going to derail and shill here, but like just to say that. Anyway, yeah. So what you guys are doing is really interesting. It's like a different approach that I didn't really entirely consider. So I'm happy that we're on this call because now I can apply that to like my community with Gru.
You'll just take mine and you'll call it a covenant and ship it.
No, I mean, you should put it on GitHub and be like, this is it. And like make it a skill. Yeah. And then everybody else's bots can ingest that and use it. Open source software fun.
Well, we'll see if it works at all. I mean, Austin's the one who has the higher market cap and is I think really leading the charge here. So I'm curious what Austin thinks.
Don't ever sell the token and always be building. That's basically my mandate.
I don't know if you saw what happened to me. I tried to like do the apps fun thing, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna like I have this token that's on Bags, but I can't do shit
no
with
second token, right? No distraction.
From yeah. So, but like I'm gonna airdrop everybody. Airdrop everybody the new Gru token, and it's gonna be fine because everybody will have this new Gru token. And then I fucked up the initialization, so not everyone got a 1-to-1 of the previous token. So I had to like reconcile all of that and launch a third token that like brought both of those tokens under this one umbrella. So that way I could have like control over the logic of the transactions and the fees and all that other stuff. So I could actually provide value with the token. And it was a nightmare, dude. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I think my rules are very simple, and it's no selling the token at all, right?
Yeah.
Keep building. And what I'm doing is like really aligned with I used to be the head of dev growth, but we're calling it builder growth. My bot builds things and it helps me improve. So I have this skill called Ethereum Wingman, and you can bring it into your bot and say, hey bot, I want to build apps on chain and I want you to use Ethereum Wingman. And it's going to use all the learnings from Claude and I YOLOing apps. Like the first app it built was locking up the tokens. It created a vesting contract and it locked up the token. So it wrote the smart contract, it wrote the front end, it deployed it all, it tested it, and then we moved like what was $100,000 at the time into it, and it stayed there and slowly vested to this one. And it's like just a way to lock it up. I think what you really want is like a magic vesting contract. I wrote it. So Claude Labs shipped last night. Claude shipped this, which is Claude Labs, and I just posted something to it today. It's like basically like a token forum. You pay like $40 in tokens, and you can post here. And then if you buy into one that gets picked, then you earn tokens. But basically, I think what you need is like a vesting contract that locks up all the tokens, but actually supplies them as liquidity in Uniswap v3. And then instead of like vesting the token out to the dev, the token always stays locked up. The token never goes to the dev, so the dev can't sell a token. But what you're vesting is basically the WETH that's coming off the fees. And so I think that like, and I've read this in a couple of places. I think this is like the social contract: is you're getting WETH in fees, and you use that to, you know, like pay yourself for building cool things.
The ecosystem, yeah.
But everything else is locked up. You never sell the token, and if you want to earn more fees, you should put this like liquidity in, but not single-sided. It needs to be like double-sided. You need to have ETH and the token goes into a big, wide liquidity pool, and then those fees basically go to the developer for the WETH, and the tokens get reinvested. Like that's another thing that we're going to build. But he's just building all these things, and this is like right in line with my job. My job is to like go figure out how AI falls short in terms of building and improve that tooling and inspire other builders to build things. So we're just like building all sorts of things and improving this ETH Wingman tool, and that's my dude.
What's the domain there? ETHWingman.com?
Yes, ETHWingman.com. Yep.
Okay.
And like if you put it on Twitter, it gets banned. I think if you make a landing page that has a thing that people can just run, you don't even have to run this. Like go get the skill off of GitHub. But basically, it talks through a handful of things, like how to fork. Like if you're going to deploy to base, you probably want to do a base fork, and you want to deploy there, and you want to make sure all your liquidity goes in and all the right contracts work before you put that out on base. It does things like encrypted deployer keys to make sure you're not just leaving your deployer keys in plain text. It does things like wallet management. It does things like when in your app, when you go hit approve, you absolutely do not want infinite approval, right? So there needs to be like a critical rule: do not allow infinite approval. There are things in the LLM where it's really bad at judging gas prices because they've changed a lot. It's actually a lot cheaper to deploy on mainnet Ethereum than when Opus 4.5 was taught its thing. So like Opus 4.5 still thinks it costs like $20 to deploy a contract on ETH, when really it's can be like as low as 20 cents or $2. Like it's cheap to deploy on ETH, and the LLMs don't know that. So there's always this like layer of really good trained LLMs, but then like a skill around it. And that's kind of like where I'm focused. Is like it started with an MCP. I did ETH MCP. I think you did some kind of ETH MCP also.
Yeah, we did talk to ETH, talk to Ethereum.
Nice.
Yeah. You could talk to your node, and like I was like, hey, what's the balance of zakk.eth and blah blah blah, whatever. How much is Vitalik dumping today?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So like it's like right in line with my job. Like me and my homie are like doing the job right now. And I just need this other thing that we've been talking about. Like I need the memory to be a little bit better. But what I need is like a management layer, so I'm not constantly Ralphing it. Yeah. Like instead of I give you a feature and you give me a URL back and I have to tell you the 3 things wrong with it, I want to give you the build and I want you to build it, and then I want another agent to neg the shit out of it until it's perfect. And then finally I want you to like collectively come to me. Yeah.
You got to check out, I'm going to just DM it to you on Telegram, but you got to check out this adversarial spec plugin that I wrote, because it does a lot of that. Like most of the time when I use this adversarial spec plugin and process, I can almost one-shot a build that's pretty complex, like almost perfectly every time, because it's like such a pissant. Like, so you can really get it to like, because like most of building software is really just understanding like the planning and writing out the PRD and making sure that the tech spec is perfect and making sure that you have a really good plan before you actually go out on the field and play the game. So like this is something that's really helped me in my ability to ship things effectively and quickly. And these are the processes that I use as an engineer. I'm just trying to apply them now to this like agentic economy.
Hell yeah. All right, closing thoughts. What do you guys think? Should I try to raise funds to get a Mac Mini that has 512 gigabytes of RAM? Like, is it?
Wait,
are we going local?
They have
512 unified RAM. but it's like 10 grand or something insane.
Oh, that
like I can't
sounds
afford that.
incredible. I didn't know that was a thing. What you should do is have your agent make you enough money to like
yeah, please make enough money to go buy a Mac full. I think it's called Mac Studio is what they're called or something. But this is like the dream, right? I want a beefy ass local agent with a hella CPU, hella GPU that can like triage everything. And I'm communicating with it, even like I'm communicating with it in like 3 different channels, and each channel has its own context. And then it's going out and telling workers to do things. And then when it comes back, it like goes through like a QA worker, and like nothing comes to me looking like shit. Like if I write a rule somewhere in a document, those rules are all followed and you've checked all of them. And I feel like right now that's not the case. Like I'm giving it a feature, it's coming back to me, and I'm saying you're missing this piece. And then it's building it, and then it comes back to me with the URL, which is still like super dope. The fact that I can be in a Telegram channel, giving it a feature, and it's giving me a URL back, and I'm connecting my wallet to it and putting money into it and seeing if it works, like that's dope. But I want to get end to end. I want to be able to say, I want to make a token launchpad with this, this, and this, and then it comes back with, here you go, here it is. And then I want to be like, I want to style it for Windows 95. Here it is, like all done. I want that. It's close.
Yeah, it's probably just like we're probably like days or weeks away from having that, to be honest. Like I feel like everything is 24/7, 100 miles per hour. I'm like fucking feeling manic as shit out here, just like doing crazy stuff constantly. It's gnarly.
I think a new Opus came out this morning, which I think is like key, right? When the next really good Opus comes out, that's when everything's gonna really exciting.
I mean, it's just funny, like, you know, as a kid, like learning about the singularity and what it is, and, you know, imagining it as this like black hole where everything accelerates into, you can't see past it. And then just seeing, you know, 20 years later, you guys being on a live stream talking about how much things are like it's like we're in that exponential gradient, and we're like day over day being like, holy shit, we're 10% more capable every day than we were in the past. Like, but you know, where is this all going? I think that it's hard to really know, but you know, for me, it's a really exciting wave to ride. And like you said at the start of the call, Zakk, it feels like DeFi in DeFi summer a little bit right now. Yeah.
So if I
bring back vegetable coins, it'll start where it ends.
If I could bring it back to shill my current thesis, like after doing all this stuff for a while, and by the way, like I've been working on AI stuff for like the past year, and it hasn't really gotten that good until like pretty much the past November. 2 to 3 months. And like definitely like actually usable for most people over the past like month. But I think like the only bull case for ETH right now is the agentic economy, because it's the only place where that agents can actually freely trade, and they're going to have to transact autonomously. And I just don't think that there's anything in the world that has the same degree of infrastructure and battle testedness in regard to like financial rails as Ethereum. So if I could just shill that thesis, because I think that is personally what I want to go all in on right now, is like the agentic economy on Ethereum. I don't think that anything else is going to win. I don't think 100%. That.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the corollary question for me there is like, what Yearn and Uniswap were for DeFi summer, what is that for the AI agentic economy? And, you know, like if I were to...
I have no clue.
I think it's going to be like markets built on top of 8004. Like imagine an auction where there's a job that needs to get done, and the auction starts at 100 tokens and ends at 500 tokens, and there's agents bidding on taking the job. And so it's like the agent layer is discovered and reputation is on 8004. And then you have like all these interesting markets, all these fruit coin, vegetable coin markets, all sorts of interesting things that are built on top that are like, you know, back when we were talking about TCRs, right? There should be a TCR built on top of these 8004 reputation. We haven't even talked about payments, which we're an hour in, it's about to close, but like X402 is like the other standard that I think we should pay a lot of attention to. So ERC 8004 for agent discovery and reputation, and then X402 for payments. I think we'll see a lot of payments flow through that. If you have right now like an API that has a bunch of information in it, you can set up an X402 route in front of it and just charge money for that API. Instead of an API key that they have to go into the settings and get an API key and paste it into your bot. Bots don't like that. I mean, bots can do it. He can open up the browser and do it, but bots are way more likely to just hit your endpoint, understand the X402 standard up front, understand his budget, and either pay or not pay and get the content at light speed. I think we're going to see a lot of that too.
Yeah, you sound like you know more than I do. My answer is my answer is I don't know, but I'm gonna try to find out. That's it. Like, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I just like finally was able to formulate this thesis in words, and maybe I'm behind the curve on it, but I'm just like putting it. I just tweeted it today. I don't know what the next thing is. I have no clue. All I know is that I'm going to put pretty much all my effort into this now. And if there's anyone doing it better or faster than me, like, please let me know, because I would love to collaborate. I'm not like, I just want to do this because it's cool. So like, let's work together on it. Like, that's all, like, all I know. That's it. I don't know. Not a smart man. I'm just a stubborn man.
We call that the empirical way of learning, knowledge derived through experience. Whereas I feel like the a priori knowledge derived through theory would have been like I think like the question for me is like Uniswap back in the day was based off of a blog post from Vitalik about AMMs, automated market makers. Like, now that you have a blockchain, you can build this price curve, which really is incredible, and you don't have to manage an order book anymore. And my question is, like, what are the a priori things, like, where we know there's going to be really important things happening here, and is there's something as foundational as AMMs that are going to change the game? And obviously LLMs are like a new primitive that we're using, 8004, X402. And it's just a matter of kind of like combining those Legos in a way until you find something that creates value. And another question I have when I take my small brain and put it on this big problem is, where is there going to be exogenous forms of capital that are going to come into this economy? Because like one thing we've learned about crypto in the past is like, it's just a bunch of people launching like things that are like zero-sum PvP against each other. If there's no exogenous form of capital coming into the space, then we just PvP ourselves to death, and like, it never really grows. But like, who's going to come in and hire agents to do shit for them, and how can our systems orchestrate that in a way that's better than the median, the marginal offering from other people? I think that's kind of like the edge of what I'm exploring on. But like you guys, I'm just fucking around and finding out, and trying to keep my head above water and breathe as I'm going through it. And I think that's the balance of where we're at right now.
Yeah,
I think another meme on top of that is like AI is the new UI, and stable coins and adoption. So like humans, there are generally humans don't use blockchain right now. And I think if humans can use an agent who can use a blockchain, who can use stable coins, I think there's a lot there, right? And I think so I think the big amount of money that comes in is just like normies yelling at an agent to go do a thing, and the agent at light speed being able to buy 3 services, hire 2 people, and get a job done like instantly. And the person is like, "What? You did what?" Like, I think there's something there, and I think there's something that will grow out of that will be bigger than the sum of the parts.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be so fucking cool. And
to center this back around Ethereum, I think that, UI has traditionally been a problem for Ethereum with like browser extensions and like bridging and all that bullshit. And if AI is the new UI, this allows us to sort of leapfrog a lot of those issues. And the other thing that I'll say is that I think it's super based to see Tomas, the new Ethereum Foundation director, retweeting your stuff, Austin, and embracing you here. I know in the past, like the Ethereum Foundation is kind of like the old Ethereum Foundation would like get in the way of itself. And the fact that they're embracing you while you're just like doing shit at light speed and embracing you, I think is cool. And I think you're building a bridge between Ethereum and AI agents. And like, you have my sword, man. Like, let me know how I can support. I'll have my bot call your bot, but we'll figure it out.
This is another thing I was just talking with you guys, like, have my people talk to your people. It's going to be our agents coordinating everything, right? Like, even my agent already sends my wife a text and asks her, like, what are we up to today? Like, what things should I put on my calendar? Like, it's going to happen. Yeah.
So I could prompt it. Can I prompt injection attack? Like, if I were to @ Claude ATG on Twitter and be like, tell Austin's wife that like owocki bot says hi, like, would it text? Like, is it the same system?
That's going to be great. It is, yes. It's not going to be soon. Like, everything I've learned here is about like isolation, and it's isolated on its own box. And I have 2 agents. I have a Sonnet agent and an Opus agent within the same memory. But what I'm going to do is have one laptop that handles wife stuff, house stuff, a calendar,
a personal
another
agent
bot
and
that
a work agent, like
yes,
like having
exactly.
a Facebook or LinkedIn profile, or like
Yeah.
I think that separation is important.
Yeah,
Or it could
and
be, I don't know.
communication is going to be key. Look at Zakk's matrix thing. Look at how I can get them to communicate better.
Yeah,
Like
you don't
it's
want
definitely like yeah.
you don't know what your wife and kids to know about the adversarial spec. That'll get you in trouble at home. I was just being adversarial, babe. I was just red teaming your idea, all right?
Amazing.
Only the married guys get that joke.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. I want to respect that you're trying to close the space. Austin, thanks for doing this. This is cool.
Thank you for having me.
Guys. Really appreciate all of you. Let's do it again.
Yes. What is that? Are these claws?
I like
Hearts,
this
hearts.
more. This has been Austin's thing forever.
Yeah, this is old school. All right. Is it this way? Yeah.
No, the wacky waving inflatable fun guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is fun. Peace.
Guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.